Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, it's episode 2 of a brand new series I just started called Cars I Have Owned for a really long time, but have not made videos for because I did not make videos on this channel for 4 months. I played around with the title for a while, but that one just kind of flows off the tongue pretty quickly for me. So, yeah, that's what we're going with. Today's episode is this car right here. This is Lance Stroll Racing Point from the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix, the Lance Stroll pole. There were a lot of crazy things in that Turkish Grand Prix. It's one of the greatest races of all time. And I think so much crazy stuff happened that we kind of forgot all about Lance Stroll's sole pole in F1. Yeah, this is a Minichamps. You guys remember a couple videos ago, I did the $40 Minichamps. This was another one. I only spent $40 getting this car. I don't know if this is a new release. Let's see if it's back. This only popped up relatively recently. There's me, my face in the camera. This only popped up relatively recently. It says produced 2021. I never saw this car on eBay or anything until relatively recently. Like I've said fucking 3 times already. So I don't know if this just came out. 2020. That's a year, all right. Big year. Formula One had a very crazy 2020, and 2020 for this channel is when I kind of started making videos again. I remember I reviewed the 2019 Toro Rosso, and then I took like 6 months off, I think. I feel like that happened in like August or October or September, and then I didn't make another video until during the pandemic. So it was one of those times where I thought, maybe I was just never going to make another video. It wasn't the last time that it ever happened. Probably wasn't the first time either. But whoa, because I've definitely done that before where I just don't make videos for a little while. I actually have the car that won this race, Lewis Hamilton, from that Turkish Grand Prix. I think I think they already made a version of this car that had the worn down tires. I thought that's what this was going to be. Man, it's been a while since I've seen the 2020 Mercedes. I actually thought the black livery on this car was really nice. Probably, I like this car. I believe I made like a little YouTube short a long time ago, my top 5 favorite F1 diecast. I believe that one was on there. I should probably redo that or something. I'm not a huge fan of YouTube shorts personally. I know, like I said a couple videos ago, that's kind of the meta to get big on YouTube these days. I don't care. Anyway, let's jump into this car. I think I'm in the wrong order. I think I usually take it out of the box and then we go to the lower camera. But fuck it. Let's go to the lower camera first. 2025, baby. Okay, we're not quite at the angle that I am usually at. But still, nonetheless, we're ready to jump in. The pink Mercedes. I kind of forgot all about the... I can't even get this off. I kind of forgot all about the controversy with this car. It was basically a copy of the 2019 Mercedes. They just kind of looked at it and built the 2019 Mercedes. Racing Point did. And it worked. This car was pretty good. And it did win a race a couple weeks later with Sergio Perez taking his first ever win. I don't remember why Racing Point were so good in this race. I feel like it had something to do, like they had a setup where the front tires would heat up really quickly. Of course, this Turkish Grand Prix was the newly paved Istanbul circuit. It was a mess. It was no grip whatsoever. So the front tires being kind of heated really nicely gave Racing Point a lot of grip. And so during the first half of the race, they were untouchable. But when they switched over to intermediate tires, Lance Stroll fell. I feel like he finished 9th or something. He fell way back. Sergio Perez, being an expert at tire management, kind of saved him. He finished 2nd. But I believe they were so good because of the tires heating up nicely, but then overheating on the intermediate tires. I don't know. Could be full of shit. Just imagining all that. Let me know in the comments if I'm right or wrong. I could just Google it, but where's the fun in that? Am I right? Anyway, yeah, let's jump into this. Wheels don't move. This is a resin model. Yeah, all the good stuff. Let's take this off the base. Now, this may seem like a totally random car for me to buy in 2024. It is a cool moment, you know, Lance Stroll getting that first ever pole position. But yeah, it definitely is a random thing to get. The reason I got this car is because it is on the full wet tire. And I do not have a single F1 diecast that is on the full wet tire. And they don't make a lot of them. I don't even think the full wet tire doesn't even really get used anymore. They may have used it in Brazil this year a little bit. But yeah, this is a tire that no love for this tire anymore. This is an awesome rear wing. I did not remember it being silver like this. That is very, very cool. Very, very nice looking front wing. I have a couple cars that are on the intermediate tire, that Lewis Hamilton I just showed, as well as a Marcus Ericsson from a couple years ago. And you know, I'll be honest with you, in terms of pink cars, I think I like this a lot more than any of the pink Alpines. I think I only have a diecast for the 2022 pink Alpine, Fernando Alonso. I've always thought that this was just a lot better. I don't know. I maybe the pink car. I don't even remember what the Alpine looked like from this year that was pink. Of course, BWT, best water technology. That's why this car is pink. I don't actually even know what that is. It's like water filtration or something. Yeah, that's cool. This is definitely a nice looking car. And yeah, Lance Stroll's pole position, such a strange occurrence because, I mean, I'm not going to say that it'll never happen again, but it's like 2021 or what year? 2020 was like a really good year for Lance Stroll. He potentially had his eye on 3 wins that season. Of course, this race, he had a good shot at some point in the Italian Grand Prix. There was that restart after the red flag that he should have been the leader for after Lewis Hamilton took his penalty, but he did not get a good start, so he fell behind Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz, I think. And then the 2020 Sakir Grand Prix that his teammate Sergio Perez won. Lance Stroll was ahead of Sergio Perez and ahead of Esteban Ocon for a lot of that race, but got passed before the safety car that would eventually lead to the Mercedes tripping over themselves. I do have a comparison to do, as always. Oh, there's that cocaine again. Here is the 2018 Force India, the team that was a precursor to Racing Point. Yeah, it's dusty. It's getting old. I've had this for quite a long time. The rear wing is a little sketchy. That's alarming, but I feel like isn't there supposed to be like a piece here? Is this car just way broken? I have no idea. This car is so old. I think this livery, this 2020 livery, is a lot better. I think that BWT band is way nicer than kind of the smaller logo. But this was the first of the pink cars. I think even in preseason testing, this Sahara Force India car wasn't pink. It had their old colors. And they it changed to pink by the time the season began. But yeah, I think this one is way nicer. This is a nice livery. That rear wing looks crazy. No sponsors on the inside again, though. I think the inside looks a little weird. It's clearly like a silver a silver rear wing that they kind of just blobbed some pink on. Or maybe it's the other way around. They painted it pink initially and then put some silver on the outside and leaving just the bare pink on the inside. But yeah, this is a pretty cool car. I actually don't have that much to say about it other than that. I'm sure I've shown some pictures when I've just been saying random stuff. A lot of winglets detail. This car is so old that I don't really know what to look for. It is kind of crazy seeing these old style F1 cars. I think up until this season, the new style, the 2022 regs were kind of a dud for me. Last season, 2023, was a total dud. This year, they finally got it together, but prior to this year, I thought this was the best, regs that I'd ever seen, the 2020, 2021 era. Kind of COVID kind of brought everyone together, I think, a little bit, like in terms of pace. Of course, 2020 was still way dominated by Mercedes and Red Bull to some extent, but Ferrari fucked up 2020, so it allowed some of the other teams to kind of compete. Here's an interesting detail. The front, or the mirrors, are actually connected to the side, the barge boards. Oh yeah, barge boards. Remember these things? Yeah, I think they're kind of back now. But the rear wing, or the front wing, gosh, I can't get anything right. I've called front wings, rear wings, front wings, barge board, side pods. The front wing is huge on this car. It's like I keep touching it every time I try to pick up the wheels. But everything else is pretty solid for a Minichamps. Whipping out another 2018 diecast. This is another Minichamps. That Force India was Minichamps as well. One thing I just noticed, though, this car's got way more weight to it than this car. So there's something going on in the internals. There's some cost cutting going on that are lightening up the Minichamps. And so yeah, that's something worth noting. I don't know if the price is going down. Of course, I spent $40 on this car, which I don't think is the actual price. It just was $40 for some reason. Maybe they overproduced this one, which seems like a weird one to overproduce. But yeah, this 2018 car, all these 2018 cars are from a completely different era on this channel. Like, I don't even have the cases for these anymore, so they literally just sit on my shelf, uncovered, basically. So the same with the Force India. Like, 2018 was just too long ago. Although some of them still have covers, like the Haas still has a cover. But yeah, Lance Stroll, you can get him in Barago now because of Aston Martin. So all you Lance Strollovich fans, I think that's his full name, bands together because you can buy him in Barago now. But this car is pretty cool. I'm glad because you guys know a couple of the Minichamps as of late have not been good. Anyway, though, this is a nice looking car. If you can find it for $40, pick it up. It's a pretty cool moment in F1 history. I don't know if we're ever going to see Lance Stroll on the pole again. So live it up while you can, even though it was almost 5 years ago that this happened. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.